Dead as a Doornail, Book 6 of the Stan Kraychik Mysteries. Author, Grant Michaels. Publisher, St. Martin's Press, New York. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 4. At police headquarters, Branco's office is a minefield of open packing boxes. He explains that he's preparing for the move to new headquarters in Roxbury. He sounds troubled about something, and I ask him about it. It's nothing, he says, just that I'd rather stay here. It's old, it's cramped, and it smells bad most of the time, but this is where I started. The new place, it's just too new. And then maybe you understand why I like my old house? That's different, says Branco. That property, if you can call it that, the whole place is falling down. The foundation is solid. I hope. Branco asks, how did you end up with a place like that? I explained how I wanted some security for myself, but the words sound stupid. How much more secure can you be than with a few million in the bank? I tell Branco how I saw the building last fall, just after the first snowstorm, and how I wondered why it hadn't fallen down, and then how a friend of mine found out the property was going up for auction. So I visited the Citizens Housing Office and made an offer. In my enthusiasm to become a South End property owner, I overbid the taxes due by roughly a factor of 8. So the wreck was mine, and City Hall enjoyed a windfall. The only smart thing I did was not pay cash for the place. I got a special rehab mortgage. The interest on my few millions is better spent elsewhere, like on charity. Branco says, must be nice to have money like that. Somebody died first. And somebody died on that property of yours, too. Which is probably where the answers to Tim Shignassi's death are. On my property. Branco looks at me like I'm talking Sanskrit. What are you getting at? He says. Isn't that house the obvious place to find an explanation for what happened? Obviously, says Branco. It's the first place we look. Why do you think I have the place sealed off? Well, since it's my house, I thought maybe you'd include me in the investigation. Branco says, you are included. You're here now talking to me. But I mean as a helper. A helper, said Branco, another Sanskrit word. A cub reporter, I say. Something like that. Branco laughs. You want to help me? Stan, you can start by telling me about your relationship to Tim Shignassi? What about it? Just talk, says the cop. It was professional. I already told you that. And, he says, that's all. Branco fingers his chin. Even that part of him is meaty. He says, I still can't get over the resemblance between you and the deceased. You mean his cuddly cuteness? I mean the superficial characteristics. Things like his hair, his face, his general build. His build? Tim was a tidy little bundle of young muscle, and me? The only thing tiny about me is... Branco interrupts my mental meandering. A good-looking boy like him, and here's your... You've been alone for a while. Maybe you and him... He's not a boy, Lieutenant, and we were not involved. Why do you try to put sex into it? Branco does his manly shrug. People sometimes kill for sex. Well, it wasn't sex this time. Not with me. Why don't we focus on Tim's killer instead of his dick? Branco freezes. We? He says. You alluded to it this morning, and you're doing it now. And I'm telling you again, Tim Shignassi and I weren't involved. I'm more worried that whoever killed him might have meant to kill me. Isn't that what you said? If he was killed, said Branco, it still could be an accident. Which is it? I said. I mean, should I worry or not? Branco says, I don't know yet. If Timmy was killed, I want to know who did it. You think I know? Says the cop. So can't you use my help? No, he said bluntly. But I'm good at psyching people out, good at questioning them without their realizing it, and I'm good at puzzles too. Even if I don't use linear logic, don't you think an alternate approach could help you? Branco is unmoved. I go on. At the academy, they said I was well suited for the intellectual kind of police work, but you didn't finish the academy, did you? His office becomes quiet, except for a buzz from the fluorescent lights. Branco has stated an absolute truth, something that can't be argued or discussed. Finally, he says, I'll tell you how you can help me, Stan. You can get out of town for a while. Leave town? For your own safety, he says, just in case that boy's death wasn't an accident. Like a killer can't follow me? I can arrange some protection. With a simpatico guard that might not be so bad. Branco shakes his head. Always ready with a joke, aren't you? It helps, I say, and it's harmless. Look, I'm not going to run away, and I'm not going to cower in fear. It's up to you, says the cop. Along with everything else I have to do, I don't want to have to worry about your safety, too. I can look out for myself. Branco's face suggests otherwise. We've already got one body in this case, and that's one too many for me. But I haven't done anything to be killed for. That may be true, he says. But we don't know what a possible killer might be thinking, do we? What about Tim's papers? Papers? Said Branco. I'm talking Sanskrit again. From his house, I say, where he ran his business. What about them? Did you get them yet? Someone's out there now, he says dismissively. Since when? Since now, says Branco, and his eyes start to glitter, a sign of rising anger. I'm awaiting a full report from my crew. And you'll question Tim's subcontractors, right? Subcontractors, said the cop. I explained. Tim had other people working for him. Maybe one of them has a lead on why this happened. Is that so? Said Branco. He jots a note on a pad of paper, then he says, as I recall, you got excellent marks in firearms training. I blush demurely as appropriate. He says, did you keep your gun? I didn't see the need. You might want to reconsider. He opens a drawer in his desk, takes out a small leather holster with a gun inside. If you won't stay off the streets, you'd better have this. It's from inventory. There's a permit, too. He holds the gun and holster out to me. I look at him dumbly. Go ahead, he says, and offers it to me. Take it. I do. I feel its heft bounce in my hand. Like I'm weighing it. Neurological impulses jam my nether regions. What's wrong? Says Branco. You're acting like you've never seen one before. Pull it out and get your fist around it. I do as he says and slide the heavy piece from its sheath. My crotch starts doing a rumba. Branco continues. You set a new record for marksmanship. You can hit a target from any distance and angle. He sounds like he's reading Ripley's Believe It or Not. You don't want to let a talent like that go to waste. Meanwhile, my dick is really pulsing. I slide the gun back into its holster and hand it all back to him. What's wrong? He says. Nothing, I reply. My mouth is dry. I just don't think I need it. Nothing personal. Better to be safe, says the cop. Perry Mason never had a gun. Branco's voice is suddenly harsh. Perry Mason wasn't real, and you might need protection. I show him my cap and mirrored sunglasses. This is all the protection I need. If there's a killer looking for someone with red hair, all I have to do is cover my head. Maybe you should dye your hair. Good point, cop. But I don't tell him that. Maybe I'll get myself a fright wig. Branco shakes his head again. Look, Stan, don't do anything to call attention to yourself, okay? No wigs, no blue hair, and just keep it simple. I know it's hard for someone like you, but just try to blend in for your own good. Yes, sir, I say with a playful salute. Oh, jeez, he mutters. No wonder you couldn't cut it. I'm about to defend myself when his telephone rings. As he reaches for it, he waves me off. I've got work to do. Thus, forsaken, I leave the station. Out on the front steps, I once again don my disguise of cap and mirrored shades. Branco is probably right that dyeing my hair would be better than wearing the cap. But as I stand outside police headquarters, I think of a good way to use my red hair to advantage, and along with that, I decide I'm not going to lie low. I'll show Branco how a gay gumshoe earns merit badges, even without the blessing of his sacred cow police academy. I head down Berkeley Street toward Columbus Avenue and the South End. The snow is melting fast under the sunny sky, creating a small rush of spring waters. Young men are walking the sidewalks, carrying gym bags on their way to and from their workouts in sneakers and flimsy shorts. Despite the uncertain weather, or perhaps in spite of it, I spy one particular fine rump flexing copiously within the stretchy knit confines of a pair of black sweatpants. Since I have no direction, why not follow its lead? Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold: to offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides, and in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.